Hi there, I'm Claire, and today I want to show you our November kudos offer, which is fab and I love it. So this arrived yesterday, and if you spend £115 in one transaction during November, you will be eligible for this free brush roll. It's beautiful. So it's got like a pencil case at the end, so you can put your... I put my pencil sharpener in, which I love, and my eyelash curlers for my super straight lashes. And then there's more than enough space for your brushes. So for this month, what I'm going to do, because there's no point having a bag roll without some fancy brushes, let's face it, and because I think this will make an absolute beautiful Christmas gift, what I'm going to do is an offer. So this brush roll is worth £35, and what I'm going to do is for £123 I'm going to do a brush set with all these bad boys in. So I'm going to go through these and explain what I use them for, although to be fair, your brushes. And I'm going to put the rest, because there are more brushes than what I'm doing in the offer, but I'm going to put the rest of the brushes in the roll and you can have a quick look towards the end. So, to get me started, I'm going to show you the brushes that I'm going to do for £123 for this month, including the bag roll. So first things first, my absolute favourite, the liquid foundation brush. So you can use this in two ways. You can either just use it for the liquid foundation, or like I do, you can add the concealer to it. So the way I do it is, as you can see, there's a little hole, can you see that, in the brush? So around the edges I just put a very small amount of concealer. I don't need that much, because I use the skincare products every day, so my skin is actually quite clear, so I don't need a lot. And then give the foundation a shake, because it's got powder in it, and literally 3 drops in the middle in a little well. Now the other way that you can put on this liquid foundation is to use your powder puff brush, and literally just 4 or 5 drops, depending on how much you need. If you're not using the concealer, I'd say 4 at least, but 4 or 5 drops, and just drop them on this brush and then just dab and then blend. So I'm just gonna, now you'll have to excuse me because I'm using my camera as a mirror, so don't be expecting any perfect makeup application off me today, and I'm going to do it really quickly. I'd have the radio on, but Facebook doesn't like you play music in the background. It says you don't have permission. It bans your videos, like you go in Facebook jail. Ta-da! So, liquid foundation brush, dead easy. I've said this before, but I don't tend to clean that straight away because I use it after if I need to touch up anything. So the powder brush, I think everybody knows how to use a powder brush, but I tend to seal my liquid foundation with a powder. You don't have to, you can use this by itself, but literally I just blend that over the top, and then, so these are all the same shade as well. The concealer, the liquid foundation, the powder, it's all the same shade. Sun's just come out, super bright in my eyes now, typical, eh? And raining all day. Again, don't clean it straight away because I use the blusher brush after. Now this is super pigmented, so you need a tiny, tiny bit, and literally I just dab once, that's it, that's enough for me. And then dab. So try to avoid, this is a tip I picked up, try to avoid doing that, especially with this blusher because it is so pigmented. For me, it's too much. So I always go over it to lighten it up a little bit. But literally less is more. You only need, you know, when I say that you only need a tiny amount of these products, I mean you only need a tiny amount of these products. Because you will end up taking it off again. So I'm putting these into the bag as I go. And then I've got the set of, so that's the 3 brushes. That's the liquid foundation, the powder brush and the blusher brush. And then I've got a set of 5, although it's actually 7, I guess, but it's 5 brushes, but with 7 tips. And I'm going to show you how I use these and what they use them for. So we've got the deluxe brush. These are all eye brushes, but this is really good for blending. Cream brush, which is for the splurge. The sponge brush, which we all know, the sponge brushes, they always remind me of the 80s. I can't explain why, but they do. And the angled shadow brush, I like this for lightly, really lightly adding in extra colours, particularly under the eye. The shader brush and the liner, so this one I use for my eyebrows. I also use this if I'm going to use an eyeshadow to line as an eyeliner. So I wet it and then use it as an eyeliner as well. That one I use for applying colour generally to my lids. And the crease brush, which does your, particularly if you're doing a shady eye. And it's harder brush, so you can really get into that crease. And you can really use this for a defined look. So, probably not going to use them all, but you'll get the gist. So cream brush, splurge. This is my favourite colour, splurge. It's a it's a matte splurge. It's victorious, brown. And literally, and I'm only going to do one eye because I don't want to keep you here all day. So because this splurge, because all the splurges go on wet, this brush is really good for manipulating it. So the splurges dry out. I'm just checking in my mirror. But it's really good for blending the cream shadows. It's probably the brush I use the most because I use a lot of splurge. In fact, I use splurge every day. I use this one every day as a base colour. Palette one. So I'm going to start with my eyebrows. So I use chipper. I mean, you can use eyebrow pencil, you can use brow gel. I quite like the brow gel. But when I'm in a rush, this isn't as easy as it looks when you're trying to do it in a camera, I have to say. But when you use, it's really easy. Look at the difference. Really easy to use. I also use this sometimes. I like to use Forthright if I'm doing a light brown look or an autumny look. I like to use Forthright as a liner, and all I do literally is I spray this with rose water, dab it on, and then literally just go along with the lip of my eye as a liner. It's just dead easy. The shader brush I tend to use, just using a bit of Sincere, just to get the colour on my lid. The sun's really come out, so you might not be able to see the colour because I'm using quite light ones. But can you see? I clean my brushes as I'm going along with a makeup brush wipe, so just have it. Then I take my crease brush, and I'm going to use chipper again, I think. And so if you've got the lovely eyes where they're quite high up, you would get this right into your crease, right into here. And because it's quite a rough bristle, hard bristle brush, you can really get in. Because I have partially hooded eyes, I just go over the top to fake a crease. Now, when you're putting this on, don't worry about getting it on as such, because you're going to blend it. And then, if you take your deluxe brush, and you can just blend it so you don't get that. So I've used 3 colours on my eyes now. I've used the Victoria Splurge as a base. I've used Sincere as colour for my lids. And I've used Chipper to give me that bit of a shady eye. And you can get away with, I mean, most of the time I sort of swap and change brushes as to what I'm doing. It's hard to do a crease without a crease brush, I find. So I'm going to use my my angled part of this brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Swanky, I think, into the corner, just to give me a bit of a and again, I'm just using my deluxe brush to blend. So you can get a different look depending on the brushes that you're using. But that's a really quick run through of the different types of brushes. So for the £123, you get the 5 eye brushes, 2 of which have got the double ends. You get the blusher brush, you get the liquid foundation brush, and the powder puff brush. And for that, and the other brushes are available as well if you wanna add them on. But you also get a beautiful brush roll for free. I'm going to hold it this way actually. Gets more on the camera. So this is my brush collection. This is the full set. So we also do an eyelash comb, a brow comb as well. There is also a concealer brush. This one here is a foundation brush, so that would be a cream foundation, but I actually use this brush for putting on the face mask as well. I love that. And we also have a contouring brush, so contouring shading as well. So there are more brushes and you can look through them. There's also a lip brush which is new, has recently just been launched, so that's a Heidi Out brush, so that's a lip brush. So you can mix and match, but as I say, I'm doing a set for £123, including the roll, including the brush roll for November only. So you have to get in quick. Beautiful gift for Christmas, I think. So fellas, if you're watching, I think you can't go wrong with this. Thanks for watching, and drop me a message if you're interested. Happy to work out a plan for you, or if you want to swap and change some of the brushes, happy to figure something out. Enjoy. Bye.